Good evening, good night, good morning. Wherever you're watching this transmission on this great planet of ours, it is I, Mike Martins, your housing discussion guru. I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I wouldn't say I even know what the heck is going on. Why do I say that? Because we're entering very bleak and obscure times in the housing market. Oh, it's just a typical crash and a blip in the... No, this is not your typical crash and blip in the housing market. This is the most interesting housing trend. The way the trends are headed in this housing market is phenomenal. I have never even thought of imagining where we're at right now, that it would be like this 5 years later. And people are rolling around in the comments section. Everyone's rolling around. I'm going to wait for some people to show up. Before we kick off tonight's show, don't forget, Mike Martins here with Trends in the Housing Market, and we are on the date of the 23rd of August 2018. Where is the year going, people? I would like to know where the year is going for you guys. I would like to know, man. We got a couple of months left, and it's Q1 2019. I was writing out a check today to the local... I donated to the local hockey club here. And I was about to write 2017 on the check, and I couldn't believe it. Wow, it's 2018. It's like I was just like, not even yesterday I was writing 2017 on my checks. Yeah. Anyways, guys, now, before I kick off tonight's show, don't forget I'm running for Merritt City Council here in the city of Merritt. And, oh, Mike Hecker is in the comments live. Holy smokes, Mike Hecker. Thank you for joining us, guys. I'm running for city council, and I want to thank people. I was talking to my wife a few weeks ago, and we're talking about, people keep sending money on eBay. Just giving me money, like tips and stuff. And she's like, you know what? You work hard. You build your platform. People want to sponsor you. People want, people like you. If they want to send you money, it's fine. There's nothing wrong. And I thought about it, and I'm like, wow, I spend like 30 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours a week making videos. And I do it because I like having fun with it. So I want to send a few shout outs to people that actually sent me money in the last few days. Linda in Sydney sent me quite a bit of money, actually, and I was at shock when I'm like, I thought it was something I sold on eBay. I'm like, oh, okay, I sold something in eBay. Then I was reading it, and then I'm like, okay, no, it's not. It's just a PayPal message. I go in, and Linda, and then she left me a message in the PayPal. I didn't know you could leave a message. So she said, hey, Mike, it's Linda. I live in Sydney. Thanks to you, we didn't buy. I was one of them FOMO people that was going to buy in Sydney, but I listened to you a year and a half ago, and you saved me me and my fiance and future husband, a lot of grief. So she sent me quite a bit of money, and I was like, oh, can we go halfway? I'll give you back some. So she basically is very happy that she didn't buy into the market, I guess. And I also want to thank Mark in Auckland for sending me a tip. Zach in London for sending me a tip. Liza in Dublin. Isadora from Toronto. Matt from Nevada. So, wow, I don't know. It's nice, I put it aside and then use it for emergencies or use it for, I guess, I don't know, running this transmission, I guess. Like, keeping this going, I guess. Because it does cost electricity. And my wife said, Mike, just who cares? People want to send you money, that's good. Oh, anyways, guys, I want to thank everyone for rolling into the comments section. I got to plug myself once in a while. Nobody freak out, but I got a really good show ahead of you guys. There's one little comment on one of the articles I was reading that we're going to break down in tonight's show. It's from Australia, but it's really good, and it affects every English-speaking country, okay? So we're going to stay tuned for that. This is blowing up on my channel. Vancouver's awesome. Actual $3.9 million junk heap is on the market in Vancouver. It's on my channel under Housing Crisis. So if you haven't seen it, guys, tune in to check this out. Please tune in to check this out. One of Vancouver's latest eyebrow Browning raising big ticket real estate listings isn't even about the house. That's because it's not even a teardown. The teardown has already happened. And this pile of debris that's hit the market for $3.99 million in Kitsilano. So when you guys think Kitsilano, you're like, whoa, it must be like Beverly Hills, or it must be like whatchamacallit, Beverly Hills or Hollywood Hills or Santa Barbara, or it must be like West Palm Beach east of 95, like super high end, by that beautiful building with the palm trees. I think that's the university, gorgeous building. No, Kitsilano's just your average neighborhood. There's nothing spectacular. It's whatever. So yeah, agree. The house is way overpriced. The land is not worth that much, and it's not that great of an area. Mr. Roboto is in the comment section. So yeah, he's always commenting and watching my back here. And then Mike Hecker, I got to make Mike Hecker an administrator here on my channel. So I'm going to make him as a moderator here. He is now a moderator on my channel to moderate anybody in the comments that get out of hand and start using words from A to Z that are offensive. Or not offensive, just, unnecessary crap, T-Dots is here. Everyone tuning in to trends in the housing market. And then once again, guys, before we kick off the first article, I want to thank everybody from all over the world that's been sending me tips. It means a lot to me, guys. Fine, you want to send me money, send me tips. And, yeah, rainy day fund for emergencies and keep this transmission going for you guys. Broadcasting from Merritt, British Columbia, if you're tuning in, the 23rd of August, 2018. The day is flying like the year is flying. The year is flying. We are almost in the next 2019. And I was just saying earlier, if you're just tuning in, I was writing a check, and I was writing 2017 on the check today. I donate to the hockey, the local Merritt Centennials here, and I always buy several blocks of season tickets that I give out at the store to kids and families that come by. I always give them free tickets if they want to go see the game and stuff. So, anyways, I did that, and I almost wrote 2017 on the check. I just couldn't believe that we are in 2018, and it's going to be 2019 in the blink of an eye. Yes. Mike Hecker in the comments say, it's okay, Mike. I wrote a check dated May 15, 2081. It's post-dated. Super post-dated check for you and yours. Okay. Let's kick off our first story. So if you haven't seen this, it's on my housing crisis. Let me plug myself again. Let me show you my YouTube channel, guys. I got lots going on here. I put a lot of comments on here. Lots of content on here if you guys are bored following my new series, Running for Council, my new series. So I want to thank for the subscribers, 5,427 subs. Thank you so much. And, yeah, here it is. Trends in the housing market going up here. I always set reminders for you guys. And old trends in the housing market here. Lots of good content on here. And this one right here, 3.9 million. It's under housing crisis. Rants and lifestyle. Prince Edward Island is booming right now, guys, in the housing market. Big time booming in the housing market right now. A lot of people are exodusing the province of Ontario, moving eastward. Game store business from scratch, really good series if you're looking to open a retail store. I go through my hoops and hurdles for that. Starting a home business from scratch, Living the Dream series, Handheld Junkie where I do some video games, and Living the Dream series edited and actually properly produced. And my son's channel, Adventures with Antonio. So that's my plug for the day, guys. And let's move on to our first article. Very important, guys. We're going to talk about something happening in Australia that's really peed me off big time. And there's a couple of people talking down under. A lot of people down under calling me. What do they call me? There's a name they're calling me down under. Not uneducated. Unintelligent. I'm not intelligent. This is a very unintelligent show, and it's very unintelligent way that I discuss what's happening in the housing crisis, and I've been discussing it for years. You know what I'm saying? Guys, I'm really thirsty. I know Mr. Roboto doesn't like when I drink for my thing, but I'm really thirsty, guys. Steve the plumber said, "Hi, Mike. My phone, laptop, and a few other things were stolen from my rental car. I apologize for not being able to contact you via telephone." Hey, buddy, I was worried about you, man. I was super worried about you. Yeah, it's Vancouver, dude. Everything will get stolen. I don't care where you are in Vancouver. You leave anything in your car, they'll leave that car on blocks. On blocks. Hopefully we get Steve the plumber on the show to ask him what he thought about Vancouver. Hopefully he was looking around at the housing market there while he was in Vancouver. Anyways, okay, guys, Metro Vancouver housing sales projected to fall 26% this year. So it's going to fall 26 points this year. 26 points in sales, that is, not in price, okay? Changes to mortgage policies are anticipated to be one of the lending contributors to the deflation of Metro Vancouver's housing sales volumes, according to the new market update by BC Real Estate Association. It is expected sales within the Vancouver region will fall 25.7% in 2018 from about 36,600 units last year to 27,200 units this year, but there will be an upswing recovery of 13 to 30,800 units in 2019. The average MLS price in 2018 will change by 1.9% to $1.05 million, an increase from $1.03 million last year. The rate of price growth will accelerate in 2019, increasing by 3.3% to $1.085 million. Similar conditions are being forecasted for the Fraser Valley, sales falling 26.3% this year to 15,800 and rebounding slightly negative 13.9% next year at 18,000. But the average price will rise more steeply in the Fraser Valley, 755,000, 7.6% up in 2018 and $792,000, 4.9% in 2019. So things in the Fraser Valley, if you're in Kelowna, Kamloops, going further east, prices are going up and they're getting out of control. A lot of Ponzi schemes and a lot of scams going on there in the interior. Hopefully Revenue Canada and all those other people can start catching these fraudsters and putting them behind bars where they belong. The report states that the B20 stress tests conventional mortgages and higher mortgage interest rates, reducing affordability and purchasing power. It's always been a reduced affordability for the last 7, 8, 9 years. It's not the last 2 years. Even $700,000 house for the average medium family is unaffordable. I don't care what anybody wants to say, and I'm going to prove that to you in some research I did today. Yeah, my unintelligent channel and my unintelligent thought process. The impact of stringent mortgage qualification rules on conventional mortgage borrowers introduced this year has severely eroded affordability and purchasing power of many potential home buyers, reads the report. The resulting shock of housing demand is expected to temper home sales throughout the rest of this year. There is strong ownership interest from the large population of millennials who are now entering the household forming years. I don't know who. Unless they're in their 50s, these millennials are in their 50s now, and they've saved 20 years to put down a down payment. I don't know who, but if you want to comment below and let me know, I would like to know. I have a couple from Hamilton, Ontario, millennial couple, that want to be on the show. I messaged them on Facebook. They want to be on the show. Tell us what's going on, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's keep going here. Active listings in BC were up almost 20%. Listings are up, but sales are down. Yeah. In July, within the strained Vancouver market, the number of active listings has gone up 30 points over the past year. It's going to continue to go up, guys. The combination of slower housing demand and increase of inventory of homes for sale. Oh, let's not forget all the empty homes that are going to start being thrown on the market when they start auditing these empty homes and finding out who owns them. And let's not forget all this construction and pre-builts that are going to be going up soon. They're going to throw more inventory on the market. And let's keep going here. The combination of, stress test most markets towards balanced condition continues to report. This means more selection for home buyers, fewer multiple offer situations, and less upward pressure on home prices. New government controls on the housing market, of course, are another major factor for the changing status of real estate in British Columbia. So this is by Kenneth Chan, National Features Editor at Daily Hive. The evolution of Buzz City. He covers local architecture, urban issues, political, business, retail, economics. So, Kenneth Chan, thanks for bringing us this article. This is a very good indication that you're going to start to see a lot more on the market as housing sales continue to fall. It's projected to fall 26 points. Mass exodus out of Vancouver. I think I think housing sales will be around 30-35 points in the upcoming Q1 of 2019. Okay, let's go back to the comments here, guys. Mike Hecker says, Mike, I listed your home on Airbnb. No, you didn't. And Steve the Plumber says, T-Dot, just wait, Toronto will mirror Vancouver, and the bubble's already bursting from the high top of the market. The data doesn't lie. Organized real estates will, however, do everything they can. Of course, they need to calm investors. They need to massage and calm people that, hey, it's just a little blip. We'll get back on it. You know what I'm saying? No, this is not normal. And this is why I've been talking about housing for so many years. A lot of people say, oh, Mike, you could have bought 2-3 years ago and you could have been up right now, so you didn't time the market properly and you're mad because you didn't. Guys, even if I bought 4 years ago, yeah, I'd be up a bit, but I did better in markets. When Donald Trump became president, I did better in other avenues and strategic investing I did, and my business, my storefront's busy. My storefront is freaking busy. I'm actually working now. I kind of wanted a tumbleweed, quiet town, lay back, retire type of thing. But no, I'm working now at the store. It's been not like I get up, I open the store, it's busy right till the time I close, which is a good thing. I'm happy for that. I'm grateful. And then my eBay sales are through the roof. Whew. And this is leaving a lot more disposable income for me because I don't have a mortgage. You see, a lot of people that bought 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago and their equity is up 1 to 2, 3, 400,000, a lot of people would have tapped into that equity to eat because interest rates are going up and stuff. So they got to put their house on the market. So they need to eat. So they're using these lines of credits, HELOCs or second mortgages or whatever you want to call them, and they're eating off those things. And that's the problem. And then after fees, land transfer tax, this, that, agent tax, banking fees, loan documents, blah, blah, blah. Once you're done everything, appraisal, blah, 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 it's not worth the headache. There's so much more yield to be made in other sectors and avenues. I think gold's going to go up. I think gold's going to rally soon. I think gold's going to hit $100-$110 a barrel soon. And I'm just feeling that, you know what I'm saying? I already got some money on the side ready to dump into the oil market when I feel that, I do have already oil stocks, but I'm saying like ready when things look like they're going to hit, you know? And remember that whole Turkish thing in Turkey? Remember Turkey, that lira and all that stuff? Oh man, I bought so much bargains. Oh, I bought so much bargain stock, and now I just sold half my positions like 2 days ago. I made a video about that. It's blood on the streets. Whenever you see something go down, buy more! You know, except Bitcoin. I'm not going to use Bitcoin in this equation because I don't know. I don't know anything about Bitcoin. I never invested in cryptocurrencies. Yeah, there's a market for it. Yes, it exists. Blockchain is great. Blockchain has a future, but not now. Anyways, Gordon Smith, what about silver? I only buy physical silver. I do not buy silver certificates because silver certificates are not worth it. Because you go into the bank or you go into the place to actually cash in your silver certificate for a bar. They'll tell you they'll mail it to you, and they're not mailing it to you. So, you know, so. And then Didine256 says they come to your store because they like hanging out with you too, maybe. Yeah, people hang out with me all day. And then not sure where, good neighbor Joe, and that's Walking Journey. And then you have an outgoing and great personality. I'm sure it's fun being around you. Yeah, I'm not that bad. I got a couple of ex-girlfriends that would actually tell you differently, but still. And Gordon Smith says, what about silver? I already answered that. And Walking Journey, $2 million. Oh, Walking Journey, don't go anywhere right now. I want to show you something real quick. Look at this house. $3.9 million junk heap is on the market in Vancouver. Look at that, buddy. That piece of junk, already torn down on the floor, half burnt, is going for $3.99 million Canadian. That's $3.26 million US. And let's move on. Okay, let's get back to what I was talking about. So I'm going to focus one more article here on BC before I move to the one I want to talk about with you guys tonight. Oh, rip-off prices, $3.99 million, and then you got to spend, what, at least $600,000, like, in the price to build anything in Vancouver is like 10 times the prices of, you know what I'm saying? So Alex says stocks only go up, real estate follows stocks. Plus, Mike, that infrastructure is old. Yeah, you got to tear out all the concrete here. This concrete needs to be yanked out. This was built 1911, so you have to. I think there's a 12 because look at the windows here at the bottom. So there's like a 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 foot foundation here because look at the window at the bottom. So what happened was for frost levels, right? So they probably went down 6, 7, 8 feet to have this window down here. So definitely has a basement. So you got to yank out all the rebar, because those houses were built to last back in the day. They don't build them like they do now. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Mike, is there any way you can drive to that location and make a video? It's in Kitsilano, so it's like 2.5 hour drive for me. So I'll get Mr. Roboto to make me a video and he could send it to me in an email. And then Steve the Plumber says, Alex, are you drinking, bud? And then Mike Hecker says, Mister, how bad is it you in Vancouver? Then David Kennedy says, I control the price with paper contracts. Wink, wink. Okay, who's... Ooh, I got somebody here. Somebody accepted my friend request on... Okay, I'm just getting a lot of messages here, guys. Okay, so somebody, is accepted my friend request. Just send me a reply on your page, but we can chat here if it's easier. Okay, so somebody is messaging me now from Ontario. And I'm messaging them right now. Anyways, okay, let's go back to what I was talking about. So, guys, if you want to be on the show, let me know. I do have Skype. So, my Skype name is... I'm going to look that up for you guys right now. If you want to go on Skype and message me, and we could arrange a time for you to come on your show. Even if you're pro-housing and you're pro... and you believe that housing is going to keep going up, we would like to hear from you, too. We would really, really... we would really, really, really like to hear from you if you believe housing is going to keep going up. So let me get my Skype information here for you guys. So if you want to message me on Skype, you're more than welcome. Okay, let me go to my account. And my Skype name is live, then colon, just live colon. Then it says Mike Martins 1980, all one word. Mike Martins 1980. Mike Martins, it's spelled on the screen. Mike Martin's 1980 is my thing there. And okay, I just sold something on eBay again. I've been so busy online, guys. It's phenomenal. Okay, so let's move on, guys. I'm holding up the show here. Okay, Steve the Plumber was just recently in Vancouver. He said, Vancouver is by far absolute worst place to buy real estate. It will burst and it will bust. Oh, Steve the Plumber knows. Steve the Plumber was recently in Vancouver. I'm very upset he didn't come to see me. I kind of wish he came to see me. But anyways, he saw the infrastructure. I don't have to even... I didn't talk to him since he lost all his stuff. So I don't know. I could tell you right now, Steve's going to say, oh, the streets are narrow. The infrastructure sucks. There's no major arteries. There's no major roads to get you downtown. If you're getting off the airport and you're going to go downtown, you have to take side streets to get downtown from the airport. That's how bad it is, people. You have a little bit of highway and you feel like, yeah, we're going on an expressway to go downtown. No, you're not. You're going to take it a bunch of side streets and lights. Okay. All right. Let's keep going here. Wow, there's so much messages going on here. So much messages. Okay, we got a message here from somebody from giving us a housing story here, right here, live on the air. I can't call because people are sleeping, but I'll fill you in here. So we got a realtor back in March who set us up with a mortgage broker. We have $35,000 down for a payment, but we were told we would both have to open We would both have to open second credit cards in order to be considered for a mortgage. My fiance makes 75 large combined. So why would a mortgage broker ask her to open second credit cards? It doesn't make any sense. So hopefully she could fill us in a bit more. Okay, Double A is in the comments. David Kennedy is in the comments. So David Kennedy saying the hypnotizing machine known as the Television promised me real estate only goes up. You must be wrong, Mike. No, guys, I'm not wrong. I'm lying. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, guys, BC economy forecast is to slow down over the next 4 years. You guys have no idea. Woo! Okay, British Columbia economy is on the verge of years long slowdown after a remarkable run over the past 4 years when the economy expanded by over 3.5% annually. According to the report released today by Central One Credit Union, growth will slow to 2.9% this year, then average of 2.7% in 2019 and 2020 before further falling 2.3% in 2021. Housing sales have plunged, although recent provincial government policies and the tightening of the mortgage lending policy have slowed down the housing market. Residential investment still remains as a major growth driver in 2018 due to the high levels of construction activity. Okay, so wow, it's a super chat? Holy crap. I didn't even think that thing works. One Man's Way just sent me $20. Thanks for all your great content, bro. You're an inspiration. Holy smokes. Someone sent me $20 live. That's fantastic, man. Yep, that's fantastic, guys. I try to inspire people because the best of my ability, only because I had to inspire myself a lot growing up or motivate myself because, like I said, I'm very poorly educated and I really didn't want to be the guy at the back of the class that everyone made fun of for the rest of my life. So I had to start thinking outside the box because I was slated to work in a factory for the rest of my life and just be nothing, and that I refused to take that. And, anyways, Thank you very much for the, wow, $20. Anyways, okay, housing sales have plunged this year with BC experiencing the steepest decline among provinces since January. We read that already. Okay, here we go. 20,000 vacant job positions in BC. Vacant. Do you know why? The labor market in British Columbia is an absolute disaster. I got a friend. He wants to remain anonymous. He's going to come up and visit me sometime in November. He owns a restaurant in downtown in the Gastown area now for about 14 years. He's got to close. He needs a staff of 22 people. Okay, with shift work, of course, right? He's got 11. He can't do it. He said 10 years ago he would have 80 resumes, 90 resumes. Now he gets 2 resumes and they don't qualify or not even qualify. He gets them in because he really needs them, and they're just not a fit for the position, right? And that's it hurts, man. It hurts. I feel for the guy. I feel for him big time. So he wants to come up and visit me up here at the shop, at the game store up here. So then I got another Greek friend who's got this again. It's kind of like a restaurant, gyros type place in a mall. And he's working there. He's never had to work there. He's always had staff to do the work and cook and do the proper procedure and close. Now he's closing. He's closing now. He's like, Mike, I'm like 41 and I'm closing my business. And it's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm closing. I'm not closing down my business, but I have to close because I can't hire anybody to work for me. So the province of BC is so plagued with unaffordability that the labor market is just you can't find anybody to work for you. I did a video a few days ago about this, you know. So there's jobs available in the food industry, the what do you call it? What the industry is that? Service industry, all kinds. I know taxi companies that are hiring big time. Just nobody could afford to live in the city. Nobody could afford to live in Burnaby. No one could afford to live in Westminster. It's moving eastward. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Opa Leviti says, does Mike give those donations to the women's battered shelter? I changed my bank account recently because there was fraud on it. And I used to auto-donate to the women's battered shelter for 12 years now. I wasn't even in the paper about that. And I changed bank accounts, so I haven't heard from them. I'm going to give them a call, and I've been doing that for years. I've been donating to them for years. I used to do a whole pile of fundraising in the store. We used to have the Cards Against Humanity. I wasn't allowed to sell it, but I ended up getting copies of it from a print company. You're allowed to print it off. The PDF is available. So I got a couple of, maybe 800 of them made, and we sold them for a good price. And we donated all the money to the women's shelter, like all of it. And we're talking like quite a bit of chunk of change. And my wife was like, holy smokes. So it looked good. You know, the wife looked at it and said, wow, that's great. You know what I'm saying? So women are everything to us. There are wives, there are mothers, there are daughters, there are grandmas. So migration from elsewhere in Canada Falls. Again, net migration from BC and other areas in Canada has fallen. There's no incentive to come to BC anymore. That's the problem. Okay. There's, okay. I'm lost from Melbourne, Australia says, Melbourne, Australia will be the next Vancouver, except 30% drop in the next 6 months. That's correct. Daniel Malone is coming in the coming crash. We are headed to a Mad Max kind of scenario. It won't be a Mad Max. You wake up in the morning, the sun will be in the sky, the birds will be chirping, people will be at the gas station pumping gas, people will be looking at magazines when you walk in. You go and pay for your gas, you walk out, everything will be just normal. People will be at the drive-thru at the McDonald's, everything will be like normal, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Brother John says, My friend who has a landscaping business can't find good workers for my biz. It's hard finding reliable people as well. Brother John, where are you, buddy? Are you on the coast? Are you in Vancouver? Or are you East Coast Ontario? Are you in Manitoba? Where are you? I forgot. I remember you telling me where you were. I'd like to know where you are, because this landscaping too, service industry is really hurting right now. And then Emma Murdy says, did you ever talk about the hikers who died in Shannon Falls in BC? Big YouTubers. I heard of them. I don't know them too well. So I don't know. I know of it. I just kind of saw a caption of it on Facebook, but I'll look into it a bit more. Emma Murdy said, no, Brother John says, by the way, that's Pennsylvania, United States. Oh, are you in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia? And then D9 says, population is a Ponzi scheme. One man's way here in MD. I had to short sell my house and move back in with mom. It was the only affordable rent. Yeah, guys, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Believe me, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, we're in a very abnormal housing situation right now. Very abnormal. It's not your typical roller coaster pop and then drops, and then roller coaster pop and it drops every 8 to 12 years. This is bizarre. This is like one of them fueled by foreign money, fueled by corruption, fueled by bad banking, lending practices. There's so many banks putting garbage on the books. It's disgusting, if you ask me. It's absolutely disgusting what they're being allowed to be thrown on the books. And I don't know how the underwriters are approving any of these deals, because it's not the lender's fault. It's the underwriter's fault. And the underwriter isn't in the branch. The underwriter's in some head office somewhere in Quebec, because they have to speak English and French to be able to approve some of these deals. And they're letting these go on the books, and I don't even know how, guys. Somebody walks in with a pay stub from like 50 years ago. Here's the only pay stub I could find. Oh, this is from 50 years ago. Oh, this is good. We can use this. We can use this. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, let me take a sip of water here. One Man's Way says she still charges rent, and I got to do all the work in landscaping. It's not a free ride. No, of course. Well, it's family, dude. Family is always family. Help them out, you know. And you got more. I guess you feel safer at home. I guess you feel it's just a safer feeling when you're at home, especially when I'm with my parents or hanging out. It's just the safety feeling. I don't know why. Stefan Molyneux is calling these housing prices and tuition prices the ultimate birth control, since these are time limit for female fertility. I can't read. You know what I mean? And yes, when I keep talking about this housing prices, I said it's holding back on people getting married. It's holding people back on having kids. It's holding people holding back on getting a specific job because they can't afford to live in the area. It's people having to quit their job and move out of the area because they can't afford to live there. This housing crisis is going to affect every single human being in the English-speaking world. If you're in an English-speaking country, minus South Africa, and you have a free market, it's over. You have been sold to the highest bidder. You have been sold to the highest investor. You're sold out. Your kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids have been sold out. And we're sold out. I was sold out. I was sold out of Vancouver. It's not that I want to spend $2 million on a house, but why am I going to spend $3.9 million on this this broken down house when I have a bigger house than that right now with more land? Okay, and I paid $260 for it. 2.5 hours out of the city. I mean, where's the rationality behind this, guys? Anyways, let's keep going here to the next thing. I got someone knocking on my door. I don't know why, but I hope my wife gets it because I'm not answering the door. Okay, so I'm going to actually tell you guys this one here. Yeah, this is the article I want to read for you guys. I already preset this for you guys because this is a very important article, okay? Bargains in blue chip Brisbane suburbs, how to snag an entry-level house. So, deciding on your dream location on a suburb is easy enough. What's less common is being able to afford to buy there, especially when there's a budget involved. In Brisbane, most sought-after suburbs are also usually the most expensive and good for a reason. They're well-established, close to the CBD, and surrounded by the best amenities, services, and public transport. So look at this thing, guys. They want $1 million for this thing. Look at this. Does it have bars on the window? And it's on stilts. It's on stilts, guys. What, you could actually see the crawl space. Holy crap. I'm not trying to trash the house or bash anyone that's going to buy it. But this is what I want to talk about here. Watch this. If you can get a house for $1 million, don't stop to think about it. Don't even go to look at it. Just buy it. Moment of silence there for you to digest that. Just a moment of silence. Digest this. Let's say it again. If you can get a house for $1 million, don't stop to think. Don't even look at it. Just buy it. That's how far gone it is in Australia. That's how far gone it's gone in Australia. All right. Let's do some of the work that I did, some little bit of the legwork for you guys. So this is what I got. On $1 million mortgage right now. Okay, I don't know if you can see that on that screen there. I don't know how clear it is. Your monthly payment is $5,479.74. And that's in a 4-year term. And your amortization. So that's a 4-year term amortization of 25 years. I'm sorry, that's $5,479. Okay, let's say you put down some money. Okay, you get it to $5,000 a month. Guys, that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of cake. And yeah, one man's way is right, and it all goes to interest for 5 years. Now, let me show you what one man's way is talking about. Total payments over the 4-year term, $249 large. So after total payments, you're paying $249,000. Interest paid $146,775. And then principal paid $102,895. So you still owe $897,000 after 4-year term. Hello? Okay, so let's get back to this here. If you can't get a house for $1 million, don't stop to think about it. Don't even go look at it. Just buy it. I need to get someone on the show from Australia. I need somebody here from Melbourne and Sydney. I need to get someone on the show. And it's not like you're buying the Taj Mahal. Look at the floors in this damn thing. It's not like you're buying a plantation or an estate or Wayne Manor or Trump Tower. You're buying this for $1 million. What the hell is this? Here's another one. $1 million. There's the address there if you guys want to see it. 526 Lower Bowen Terrace. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. 3.3 $3.325 million. This is the potential these houses have once they've been renovated, he said. What? $3 million for that? I think it has indoor plumbing. Is the damn thing on stilts? I sold a house in Vintner Street, similar sized block of land, recently sold for $3.325 million. Okay, guys. Am I really missing something here? Have I missed the boat or something? What? Did I miss a seminar or something? Okay. We're not gonna do the math on the 3.3 million. We're just gonna do the $1 million. $5,479.74 you need to pay. You need to pay per month. That's not how much you need to make. That's how much you need to pay for that $1 million mortgage. So after going through all this bull crap here with the tax tables from the Australian government, I had a hard time making heads or tails of this Australian government thing here. So I went through it, I took my time, and I sent it to my accountant and I asked him, Gil, if you have 10 minutes, what's the tax table that I need to find out someone's net, what they make net? And so he gave me the proper tax table, and I came up with $5,479 net to pay. Just how much you need to make to cover your nut. You need to make in Australia $7,900 gross per month to cover that $5,479, roughly 8 large. Let's just say 8 large, okay, to cover that. So let's go back here. We got Agro Dimmy in the comments. So let's just keep going here. Comments. So, what do you think they could rent this for? Well, I don't even think like this one here that sold for $1.683 million. Okay. This one here, so I don't think no one could live in this. Look at, I don't think you could live in this house. It looks like the floors are coming apart, and the vinyl is lifting here on this, and this looks like it's the kitchen, and the door's falling off the hinge, and this window is missing a pane. I don't even think you could live in that house. So if you were to rent this out to cover your nut with property tax, right? You got to rent it out for, at minimal with property tax, you got to rent it out for at least $7,200 a month, maybe $7,000 to cover property taxes and any expenses and any repairs, right? And then you got garbage and water and all that crap you got to pay too to the city. Okay, look up the MLS number, Mike, please. Mike, for real, are you joking? No, I'm not joking. Mike, come on. It's a palace. So there's an MLS number for this. Hold on, I'll look it up in a sec, guys. I will. I promise I'll look it up in a sec. Okay, let me see here. There's a link to it. I'll go to it. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. 3 beds with bath, 4 parking. Okay. So the house needs, holy crap. Offers are over $1 million. Ooh. And they're basing it off comparables in the area too, eh? Wow. They're basing off comparables in the area too. So let's look at some photos of the house. Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, the house doesn't look that bad. Okay, so it's not a total fixer-upper, but it's $1 million. Wow, it's got lots of underground parking, too. Oh, is that underground parking part of the house? I don't think it is. Oh, there's before and after the siding. Backyard. $1 million. That's what I'm not getting here. Okay, let's look at this one for 233. This one. 3.3325. Holy smokes, it's just a typical bungalow. It almost looks like one of those those 5-bed, 3-bath, 2 parking. Sold for $3.325 million in the suburb too. Holy smokes. There's a little square right there. It's a little slith. I must be severely delusional. Okay, so it has a like not a pool, but like a place to sit in there. But $3.325 million. So these are the before and afters. This is what it looked like before. And this is what it looks after once you spend, I don't know, like $500,000 fixing it. But once you're in, once you buy it, and then you... So the block of land sold for $3.325 million. It looked like this. And then someone spent $500 large building this. So this is your monthly payment is okay. Let's just say let's just go off this 5,479 large. Okay. Let's open my trusty calculator here because I can't do math on the fly like that. I'm not that good to do math. So let's open my trusty calculator. So what we're going to do is, you could do this at home, guys, if you want to figure out how much you could afford or what the deal is. $5,479.74. And then we're going to multiply that by 12 months. Equals $67,756. And let's divide that by 52 weeks. Because some mortgages in Australia are weekly. So you need to pay $1,264, okay? So per week, and that's pretty high on a dual income. That's a lot of cake. That's net, guys. So that's not how much you need to make. So let's look at that for the week, okay? And then let's break that down into 5 working days. So you need to average $252.91 net. Net per day, working day, to pay that off. Net. So that's with, according to this taxation, Australia taxation tables that I was looking at, you are looking at, let me just do this in my head real quick. $391 gross per day you need to make on dual incomes. And then that's just to cover that. And then we can multiply that 1.36. So that's $343 net you need to make. That's to cover your hydro, your car insurance, no car payment though, and no credit cards, and no other bills. That's just food. And so $343.95 net per day. That's about $500 gross per day you need to make in Australian dollars to keep that afloat. Oh yeah, Peter, I just added the food right now. So I added food. So I added 1.36 or 1.39 to the equation. You're allowed to add that per day. So that's car insurance and food. That's provided you're eating paper and cardboard and stuff. You're not really eating anything good, right? Expensive place to live. I know, guys. It's just... Okay. Emma saying, I really like Stefan Molyneux's videos, but some of his advice doesn't work in 2018. Most women can't be stay-at-home mothers because rent mortgages are too expensive for one income. That's very true. Don't forget the power bill. It slaughters folks. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, but you're not including any money for living. I multiplied it by 1.36. That's going to make you roughly about $500 gross per day. Gross. per day. So I'm going to show you this mathematical equation if you guys want to do it, so you know how much money you have left over at the end of the day. I like to go day-by-day scenario because it gives you a good forecast on what to look forward for through the year and how much you have in expenditures. So this is what you do. This is your payments. Let's say this payment is 5,479 decimal 74 times 12 months equals, okay, 65,756. Then you divide that by 365 days if you want. You could do it per week, $180 a day. Oh, I hate doing 365 days. You know why, guys? Because people don't work Saturday and Sunday. So it really skews the numbers. I don't want to skew the numbers. I want to make it 5 working days. Okay? Okay, 5 working days. Okay, so let's do this again. 5, 4, 7, 9, decimal, 74. Okay? Times 12 months equals, divided by 52 weeks equals, divided by 5 working days, 1,000, oh, okay, then divided by 5 working days equals $251. That's roughly 300 and something dollars per day gross you need to make with 2 incomes, and then you multiply it by 1.39, and that's what you need to make net per day on working days to afford that mortgage. And there's a lot of comments going through the comment section here. So that's it right there, guys. So when I saw that, I went through the tax. I go, okay, right, you know what? The taxation in Australia, it has to be super low off wages. Because if people are paying that much money to buy a house, you know, if they're paying that much money, what is it for that house? So basically the house looked like this. What it looked like before. And they fixed it up and cleaned it, put some aluminum siding on the sides, maybe put a tin roof up top, and that's that. And they fixed it up, spent close anywhere to $400,000 to $600,000 just to fix that. You know, I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to understand the property market, why it is so overly priced. I guess Australians are severely wealthy, because if they put 50% down, their payment goes down to $2,500 a month, unless they have $500,000 to put down, and I'm not knowing this, man. So someone's saying, Mike, I mean, the ones that bought big houses, etc., I guess I shouldn't use the term blame. It was a smart move. Metal Gear says, dude, $3.2 million, you're better off buying land, build a dream home. It'll probably be, a lot cheaper. Holy smokes. Dude, you buy something in beautiful piece of land in northern Arizona, or something beautiful in New Mexico for like $200,000, $300,000, and you know, if you have that much money, you might as well live like free. You've got neighbors right beside you. I don't know. All right, what is happening in Seattle, guys? Seattle home prices reduction surge, signaling a market shift right now in Seattle, guys. You guys don't know if you've been following me. In Seattle, it's an absolute nightmare. Houses went up like 50% in like a year. The second that Vancouver put on the foreign buyers tax in Vancouver about 2 years ago, everyone moved south to Seattle, and the other people moved east to Toronto, and the ones that moved east to Toronto today are crying the blues because houses dropped 40% in Toronto in 2017. So what is going on? And then somebody's here saving for a down payment for a place. Daniel Mullen says, in Australia, you can claim property against your tax, have property gains and all that stuff. Yes, you can. But still, Yeah, it has to do a lot with negative gearing. So yeah, I've been looking into that actually, and it's kind of okay, but there's too much corruption happening in the Australian housing market with a lot of foreign numbered companies or foreign nationals taking advantage of the tax breaks in there. Seattle home prices reduction surge signaling a market shift. Asking prices dropped on 12% of the homes for sale in Seattle region in June, the largest wave reduction since October 2014. What'd I tell you guys? It's going to pop. Seattle's hot housing market starting to cool down? So it doesn't give me the story. It's a 20-minute video. Yeah, Beyonce. Anyway, so the articles are locked down, guys. So I gotta buy or donate to them and subscribe. Look at that, $140 to read the story. Cash. I guess they're right. Average houses should be $2 million, $3 million if it's $140 to read an article. So let's move on. Portland metro home prices cross into unaffordable territory. Portland's getting hit with a lot of Californians moving into Portland right now. Is driving up the housing price. So a typical Portland home is out of reach for the median wage family new home sales figures show. The median home price, according to Regional Multiple Listing Service, hit a $417,000 in June. At that price, assuming 20% down payment, the area median family income of $81,000 and current mortgage rates, a formula devised by National Association of Realtors, say a typical family would struggle to make monthly payments. They likely wouldn't get the chance to try. Most banks would be unlikely to approve the loan, even if payments are slightly out of reach. The rate of rising prices has slowed. The median sale price fell in July to $401,000 following a typical seasonal patterns, but it remains at 1.7% higher than the year earlier. But the bigger toll on affordability has come from rising mortgage rates, up a full percentage point since 2016. Remember, guys, rates were at a historic low for the longest time, forever. And full 26 expected to continue climbing higher. So rates will continue to go up. Don't worry. That's putting pressure on home prices. When rates were lower, home buyers could afford higher prices and still keep monthly payments low. We've reached a point where households are maxed out, said Josh Linner. So they're maxed out at an $80,000 income, a yearly income of $81,400 average, and they're maxed out on a $401,000 home. They can't afford it. That's how bad it's getting, people. You see, in the United States, the numbers make more sense. $81,400. I can't afford an average medium home price of $401. It's out of my reach. I don't make enough. That's right. That's exactly right. The average house in Portland, Oregon should be anywhere within $260,000 to $320,000 territory to be affordable for the $81,400 median income. But the bigger toll on affordability has come from rising mortgage rates, up a full percentage point since 2016. Rates are expected to continue to climb higher. That's putting pressure on home prices. When rates are lower, home buyers could afford higher prices and still keep monthly payments. We've reached a point where households are maxed out, said Josh Lerner, state economist. Income growth is slowing a bit and interest rates are rising. So that means if households are maxed out on their budget, the only adjustment that can be made to balance the household budget is sale price. There it is, people. Affordability index right there. It's out of control, PPs. It's the first time since the housing bubble peaked in 2007 that a median income household can't afford a median price. So again, Portland, Oregon should be anywhere from $230 to $310 for the medium average home. That's where it should be. Not $400. It's too high. Last time the bubble burst, setting off an economic crisis and sending home prices plummeting. But a lot has changed since 2007. Households aren't accumulating the same amount of debt. There remains a shortage of housing rather than the excess of homes in some parts of the country during the bubble. Any fallout from the housing market wouldn't have the same economic impact as it did last time around, Lanier said. Portland area home sales fell in July 2% from a year earlier. The number of listings climbed. It would take 2.4 months to sell every home on the market. A balanced market typically has 6 months supply, with anything less indicated of the seller's market. Homes that sold in July spent an average of 36 days on the market from listing when the offer was accepted. Okay, guys, so let's take a look at this. $401,000 for the average home price. $401,600. Let's move to our banking here. And let's put this down. Okay. And boom. $401,600. Your payment is $2,224.05. Let's calculate here on our trusty calculator. Okay, so they are making, on the article it said here, they are making on average $81,400, and they can't afford to buy that house with $81,400, and the average house is $401,600. Okay, so how now people are thinking, wait a minute, how come in Australia people are buying $1 million houses? Because they're going to be raising rates in Australia. Headline was out the other day. RBA says, sit back and wait, we're raising rates. They have to hedge against inflation. So let's look at this. Okay. So $2,224.05 for the $401,000 to be lent, and 4-year term with a 25-year amortization. And your payments are $2,224 for the average house in Portland. So let's do that. $2,224.05. We'll multiply that by 12 months. Divide that by 52 weeks. And divide that by 5 working days. So the average person, to cover that house, needs to make $102 net on 2 people working. So the dual combined income is roughly, the medium income is $81,400. Okay, $81,400, and they can't afford that $102 a day just to make a mortgage payment. They can't afford it on $81,000 a year. And now Portland's crying the blues, and the average house prices are tipping at $401,000. It took so long for Vancouver to tip. It took so long for Sydney to tip. It took so long for London to tip. But it's tipping. It's got nowhere to go. So $102. So let's multiply that. 1.39. So the average person needs to net $142. The average family needs to net $142 per day net. And in the States, I think Portland is a work-free state. I don't think they charge that much tax on their wages. So the average person needs to gross about $160 a day in Portland to be able to own the medium family average home. So that's how bad things are getting. So Portland's tipping at $401,000, which is a good signal. It's a good sign. Home sales are dropping in Portland, which is home sales and prices are dropping, which is very good. Very, very good. That is tipping at $401,000, not at $1.2 million, because that's gonna wreak havoc on. Oh God, you have no idea. So if they can't pay $142,000 gross on $81,000 a year, then it goes to show you what's happening in places like California. Let me drink some Walking Journey says, if you are 30 and you're living with your parents, still living with your home, Walking Journey, you need to understand something, buddy. It's tough out there, bud. It's not easy. In Vancouver, if it didn't work out for some reason with my business in Vancouver or something, I'd probably move in back with my parents too. I probably would have. If I didn't score this house here and kind of set myself up. It's not because I'm not spending $1 million, $2 million on a house. I would have moved in. My parents, they're aging. I take care of them. You know? So yeah, Walking Journey, you don't know what's happening in these cities. It's actually really bad. It's not what you think. So Anon's in the comments. No, Walking Journey, we're not talking about people living with their parents for their parents to support them. We're talking about people living with their parents and paying rent to their parents and helping around. We're not talking about that. So everybody's here. Okay, everybody's in the comments. So that's Portland, Oregon, guys. So okay, man, One Man's Way sent me $10. Holy smokes. I worked at the water plant, makes $70K gross. Everyone I work with lives an hour and a half away, and most of them are baby boomers who can't afford the market and won't retire. Yep. You know what? You actually wrote that. You mentioned that in a comment earlier. But so basically, One Man's Way, I'll explain to you. So, Walking Journey, if you're still watching, I'll explain to you. Portland, Oregon is tipping at $401,000, okay? Prices are slowing down right now in Portland, Oregon because they're in unaffordable territory. Middle class is not buying, okay? Pay attention to this. The average person median income is $81,400 American per year. They cannot afford a $401,000 mortgage. They can't. It just doesn't fit. The bank won't do the deal, like the article said. Now, we went into our little calculation here, and we found out that's $2,224 a month. And we calculated, with living expenses, the average person needs to make $142.68 net, or couple, dual income, needs to make $142.68 net per day. So you guys get me where I'm going here? Do you guys understand where I'm going here? So One Man's Way makes about that much money, but he doesn't live in Portland, Oregon. See, Portland, Oregon is a little bit different. Portland, Oregon is more of a work-free state, so you get taxed a lot less than if you weren't living in Canada, for example. So the taxation on there will be a lot less than what you pay in Canada, right? So, but anyways, let me get to my point here. If the average house where One Man's Way is, the average home or condo is above 600 or 7 or 800,000, which it was for me in Vancouver, which it was for me in Burnaby, which it was for me every other city I've been in Canada, or Los Angeles is like that right now, $1 million for a home, $2 million in San Francisco. You won't make it off $80,000 income. You can't make it. So it's not. So the best thing about Portland, Oregon is that they're tipping at the right time. And that is crucial. And that's why Americans will end up pulling up their socks and looking sharp because I'll tell you why. Because they're getting hit at the right time. Okay, lots of comments going in the comments section. I live in a 2 hundo bands, and I think a house is a garbage investment. I could afford one if I bought. I know a guy, he's 33 years old and lives here in Texas and lives at home. Mind you, it's affordable to live around you. Right, but here it's not. Okay, me in Merritt, yeah. But in Merritt, my 14-year-old, 15-year-old son here, stepson, works at A&W. He makes enough money to live on his own if he wanted to right now. at 15 years old. It's not that hard if the affordability crisis in your area isn't that hard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no sales tax in Portland. That's correct. There's no sales tax in Portland. That's what it was. And I think it's a work-free state, too. I think it's one of those states you don't get taxed so much. So imagine, $1 million, or this piece of crap we're looking at here. This $3.9 million junk heap in an average area. Imagine that. Imagine having... That's why everybody's leaving the big cities and moving to small towns like I did. Everybody. And like One Man's Way here said in the comments, and he mentioned it before too, that people drive an hour and a half into work. Remember the article I put up, guys, the other day on my channel? Right here? Right here. Where is it? Guy, man commutes 4 hours a day for work to San Francisco to work. 4 hours a day. That's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. That's 20 hours a week on the road. 20 and expenses. What's 20 hours a week worth to you guys? And expenses. Yeah, the ventilated fixer-uppers right here, guys. Yep, this is blowing up. People in Australia are even looking at this. And New Zealand and UK are watching this. Remember, guys, I like to cover every English-speaking country. I don't hit too much on Jamaica right now. But Jamaica, you guys have no idea. Jamaica's not Jamaican anymore. Jamaica basically sold everything out. Their highways are not owned by them. Jamaica doesn't own its own highways. It's owned by China. China owns all the big malls they built there. China built a lot of infrastructure there. It's all China-owned businesses. Jamaica is a huge problem right now because the Jamaican proper is I don't know what's going to happen because it's not looking good because it's getting very expensive there. And I'm not picking on foreign investors. I'm not picking heck, if I was an investor too, I'd be looking at, pitfalls and different places to park my money, I would want to get my money out of China in a heartbeat. If I knew that my emperor or my president just appointed himself as emperor of China, I would be looking at other avenues to invest in for sure. Or other places to get my wealth or whatever I built for my family out of there. I would. So let's keep going here. Where was I, guys? So if you're tuning in late, I did a whole Australia thing here. Really good one. Seattle's tanking. Portland, Oregon's tanking. And California real estate is so expensive that families, retirees, and even tech workers are living in cars and vans. Tech workers are living in cars and vans. I'll say it again. Tech workers are living in cars and vans. Cars are no longer just means of transportation in a time when rents are soaring. The housing prices are on the climb. They're also doubling as a home. So people are obviously using their homes as cars for homes. Look no further than California, where the median price for a home is a record high of $600,000. So if we go back to this we did here, $600,000 is going to be about $3,400 here, and the median income should be roughly $110,000, $120,000 a year to afford that. And sleeping in cars is a common occurrence. A recent Slate article explored that the rising epidemic on America's West Coast and found that 15,000 people live in cars and vans and RVs in Los Angeles alone. Okay, there's about 3,000 roughly in the San Diego area. There's about 2,800 to 3,000 roughly in San Francisco. There's about 900 in San Jose. So, you know what I'm saying? People live in cars, vans, RVs in Los Angeles alone, citing the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. That's not counting car dwellers in other expensive California cities like San Diego and San Francisco, which I just mentioned right now. The problem has become so severe that local governments are trying to tighten parking restrictions or ban vehicle residency. Okay, guys, I read an article for you guys about 8 months ago how California RVs are appearing on Washington, like Seattle, Washington, Oregon areas, and RVs are showing up all over the West Coast, the Western Seaboard. So they're tightening parking restrictions or ban vehicle residency, writes Slate report Amy Pullard. These crackdowns have led to the rise of safe parking programs run by nonprofits and some city governments. They try to accommodate vehicle residents with safety rules and regulations, according to Slate. Dreams for Change in San Diego runs 3 lots with 150 spaces, 325 residents. People often share a car. Each space costs $2,950 a year for the company to operate. Caseworkers visit often. There is no entry after 10 p.m. RVs aren't allowed, and neither are sex offenders. Well, that's pretty good. In the night, housing markets of West Coast cities, it's not just the destitute or unemployment. No, so guys, it's not unemployment. There's people making money that are homeless. I know. I spoke to a guy on the phone, and he's gonna get back to me. He works at the Home Depot full time. He works 40 hours, and he does overtime. And he lives in a tent, 2 blocks away from the Home Depot. He lives in a tent. He goes to the gym. He showers. You know. West Coast, it's not just the destitute or unemployment who see their cars as their best option, writes Pullard, adding that residents of Dreams of Change consist of families, retirees, and even tech workers making near 6 figures. Guys, I'm not kidding. This is a big effing deal. I'm not playing games here, and I've been talking about this for 7 years for a reason. Or 8 years now. In San Francisco, 59% of employees at tech companies can't afford homes. Business Insider Melania Robinson previously reported. Here's the article I read for you guys right here. It should be a bunch of guys standing around in the kitchen. Here it is. A bunch of guys in the living room, kitchen area. I read this article for you guys a few weeks back. Business Insider reported, citing stats from Blind and App for tech workers. Graham Press, a researcher for former outreach worker for Seattle's Road to Housing program, told Slate that cars are a new form of affordability housing in Seattle too, adding that he's met Amazon workers who live in vehicles while saving up money to buy a home one day. People are living in boats and vans too. I think a van would be a lot more better in that situation. Californians in need of housing aren't picky. They're also resorting to living in boats and vans. Misa, Gideon, Chatfield, and Mike Kraft decided to live in San Francisco Bay in a 900 square foot houseboat to save money. Robinson reported at $300,000. It costs less to buy than a $500,000 home on the outskirts of the Bay Area. Yeah, if you could pick up a $300,000 houseboat, MacGyver lived in the houseboat for many years. You know what I'm saying? Tracy Kaplan, a reporter for the Bay Area News Group, also considered a houseboat but didn't want the $1,500 slip fees. Instead, she cashed out her retirement fund to buy a cargo van for $53,894. She explained in an article for the Mercury News, she's spending an additional $37,000 on renovating it into a home. That's a lot of cake. You could buy a decent motorhome for $37,000 large. Both options are still way cheaper than traditional house in the Bay Area, where the median price home sells for $1.9 million and buyers are commonly bid hundreds of thousands above asking price, Robinson reported. Consequently, about 12% of households can't afford a home there. So if all the homes there in the Bay Area, only 12% of them could afford them. That's it. Joining the hashtag van life movement helps Kaplan avoid spending most of her salary on a place to live in San Francisco and allows her to save more so she can travel when retired. So people, it eats me inside, people. It kills me inside that people are living like this. I spent years anxiously searching for a viable housing solution that would allow me to retire in the Bay Area without going broke. She wrote in an article, as the trend grows in popularity around the Bay Area, her biggest concern is finding a place to legally park a new home. I've already found some unusual solutions, including to getting permission to sleep in a secluded lot in an industrial area of San Jose and renting a spot for a small fee in Santa Cruz Mountains, she wrote. Many vanners stealth park, a practice that refers to camping secretly, which often includes parking illegally, but I hope I don't have to. Guys, you know, California, it's so out of control. I know New Zealand too. Lots of families sleeping in vehicles in New Zealand too. And outside of Auckland, there's a lot of families. A lot of single moms with children. I'm really choked about this. You know, I'm really choked that... And we're talking six-figure income. We're not... So when we're talking about, oh, you know what? Yeah, these people are all homeless. They're no good. No, six-figure incomes and you have to sleep in a car. I know that California knows how to party. But this is nuts. It's being fueled by a lot of things are fueling this. Okay, let's go back to the comments here. Charlie Berna, good day. Kevin Thompson, I think this fall will be the big slowdown for sure. And then Mike Hayden. Mike, you got to contact me, guys. I got Skype now. If you guys want to get Skype on your phone, I'll give you my Skype name. My Skype name is Mike Martins 1980. Mike Martins 1980. K Friends got a jet. Thank you so much, Mike. You're awesome. I'll keep liking and... Oh, where did that go? That just disappeared. Oh, I'll keep liking and watching your videos. Cheers. Thanks, brother. Trudeau shuts down Amazon rallies. Yeah, I heard about that. Kevin Thompson said, when the price comes down, it's going to be cash only. Yeah, for sure. Banks won't touch anything for a while. Thanks for the good conversation. And then Mike Hayden says, just waiting for the blood on the streets. Oh, I love blood. I did it when the Turkish lira, a huge sell-off. Everybody's selling. What? Buy. And then I just sold half my positions the other day. And then Charlie Bowen, Mike Martins, I've noticed in Brisbane, Australia, we have a huge market demand for one-bedroom units, studio, small rooms. Yeah, micro units. I'm going to read an article about that next couple of days. I'm waiting for some good articles to come out on that. Yet the rental market is 99%. One-story, three-bedroom, car park, one bin, one loo, one kitchen. They refuse to allow a caravan and tiny homes and build your own tiny place on a block of land. Of course they're going to refuse that because it's going to take money out of the bank's pockets. Charlie Bowen says again, I suggest using Wire as a replacement for Skype. Wire supporters free speech and privacy. Okay, I'll look into Wire myself too. Then Emma Murdy is saying, why is the West Coast so much more expensive than the East Coast? I'll tell you why. It's because the West Coast is the gateway to Asia. It's the gateway to investors. Why is Australia more expensive than the United States and Canada? Australian cities are more expensive, yeah, because it's closer to investors, investor land. Remember, free markets, come in and buy. We're for sale. We're selling our kids' futures out. We're selling our great-grandkids out. Hey, who cares if we have to sleep in our cars? That's what's happening. We sold out. Oh, man. That water tastes good. Anyways, that's the article I read for you guys a few weeks back. Tech workers, six-figure, can't afford a home. Then I'm going to leave this with you guys because I'm not going to read this. It's a long story, but it's really a really good story. It's called Living Behind the Wheel. More Americans are sleeping in their cars than ever before. Should cities make space for them? So I kind of want you guys to read this on your time. It's really good. So I'm not sure if somebody messaged me here. Oh, Mike Hayden's on Skype. Let me see if I can call him on Skype. I want to see if this damn thing works. Let's see if this damn thing works. I don't even know how this thing works. Okay, let me go here. Accept. And then how do I call somebody? Here we go. Okay, it's connecting.
What's up, Mike?
Oh, how are you? This thing actually works. How do I put the speakerphone on here? Go ahead and speak.
G'day, how's it going?
Oh wow, there's no speakerphone on this thing. I want to put this thing on speakerphone here.
Alright, cool.
See
You
if
can
it-
hear me though, yeah?
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, guys, we got Mike Hayden on the line from Australia. Where are you based out of, brother?
Perth.
Oh wow,
West Coast.
that's correct. That's the bust, the mining bust.
Yeah, that's the one. Our property prices have been going down since 2014, so all these Sydney people are like, oh, the price has gone down this year. And we're like, yep, been going down for a while. But it's funny, our prices are half of what Sydney's are, and about 10 years ago when I first started looking into it, the prices were pretty much the same. So it's interesting.
Are you getting an intermigration of Sydneyers moving to Perth?
Not really. It doesn't seem like many people want to come here.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay. And the average median home price is around what, 400,000 still?
No, it's gone down to about 450, I think, or it might be hovering around 5. But yeah,
Wow, 500
it
large.
was up at 5.5. That was the median.
Okay, what is the average minimum wage in that area? What is minimum wage in that right now? Was it $22?
Yeah, it's about that. Yeah,
Okay.
Australian. So
About
same
$22.
as Canadian.
Then that was just raised a few months back, right?
Yeah, they keep tinkering with it, so it's hard to know for sure. But yeah.
Okay, so where do you see Perth headed?
Some areas have been going down quite rapidly. Some of the inner areas have actually been going up, 5-10%, but on such low volumes that it's hard to really get a picture of those ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm about 7 k's from the CBD, so within the inner ring, and my area has been going down and down and down. And 2 years ago, when we kind of moved to this area, renting, you wouldn't find anything under 650.
A week.
Sorry, $650,000.
Oh, 650 large. I thought you meant 650 a week for rent. Okay, 650.
Yeah.
Okay, 650 large to buy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now those same places, there's places same as that cropping up for low fours, low 400,000s. So, and that's just in the course of a couple of years. So, it's been fascinating to watch it drop, and then some other areas that are nearby just seem to be immune. Like, there doesn't seem to be any reason why this area, which is close to cafes and universities and lots of schools and all that, there doesn't seem to be any reason why this area is going down, and other areas just a suburb closer seem to be immune from any price changes.
It could be the comparables in the area when the real estate when some of the real estate is selling. I think they're pushing comparables, and I think what's been happening where you see these pockets of areas that are not being affected, you do get a lot of appraisers coming back with higher values than what they're valued at. And I think I'm thinking, like, depending on who's appraising that certain area, because sometimes you get an appraiser in a certain district that only does that area, so he brings appraisals back higher all the time, and so the loan to value is higher, so the bank could do more. I don't know. I'm just kind of speculating. I don't know, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've seen things like that happen before. I've seen things in my experience happen like that before over the years, right? So,
Yep.
okay, so what do you do in Perth? What do you do for work?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I'm a programmer, web designer.
So you work in the tech industry.
Exactly.
And can you tell us, like, everyone thinks that the tech industry is this very high paying, back 20 years ago, you wanted to be a doctor because it was one of the better paying jobs. But tech industry, is it up there, or is it just kind of fabricated?
It's doing all right, but let's just say I took a pay cut when I stopped being a lawyer.
Wow. Okay. So you worked law. What kind of law did you work for a while?
Property law.
Property. Oh, can you give us a story? Can you tell us one? I mean, you don't have to mention names or addresses. Can you give us one story?
I distinctly remember one time walking down the main street with a $6 million check in my hand. It was a bank check.
Oh.
For the sale of a place, and I was very careful with that check.
$6 million?
$6 million.
So
check.
it wasn't 6 million pesos. That's like 6 million Australian dollars.
6 million Australian dollars, and at the time we were on parity with the US, so it was 6 million US.
Oh, that was the good old days. That's before they lowered. That's before they lowered interest rates, right?
Yes, and interestingly, on that, the deal obviously stands out to memory. The stamp duty on that sale was $170,000. So $170,000 went to the government,
right? Just
for the pleasure of being able to make the sale.
Wow, that's like a land transfer tax. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Land transfer tax, basically. Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that's phenomenal. I 170, 160 large. That's a lot of cake, man.
170,000. Yeah.
170 large is a lot of cake. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you could buy a unit for that at that time. That was 2007, I think. Maybe 2008. No, 2007 it would have been. Yeah.
Can I ask, in your opinion, why do you think the mining sector just busted so quick? Okay, it's not like we don't need copper. It's not like we don't need gold. It's not like we don't need uranium. It's not like we don't need these things. We do need these things to continue moving forward. And technology is requiring more rare earth minerals to make this technology as we progress. Why, in your opinion, did the mining sector why did it burst?
Well, it was the price of iron that dropped, because Western Australia was very heavily reliant on iron ore. Mm-hmm. That's what our industry was running on at the time. And when China made a slight shift in their policies that dropped the price of iron ore, I had friends that went up to the mines and they were getting, I think it was $120,000 a year just for driving trucks. Nothing, no requirements, no experience needed. They had friends that were in the mines and $120,000, and so it was from what I remember of the time, it was the price of iron that went down, and that just wiped out massive amounts of jobs. But the interesting thing about here that people don't seem to realise with that mining boom, a lot of the people weren't actually living in Perth. They were living they're from eastern states, mm-hmm. So they're either from there or they moved to Bali. Mm-hmm. So because Bali is so close to in Indonesia, is so close to the mines up north.
Right.
So people weren't even living in Perth, but they would buy investment properties or whatever, and so they would spend in Perth, but they wouldn't live here. So there wasn't.
So you saw a bit of a lack in the middle class spending there because a lot of it was investment properties.
Oh yeah. Well, for the longest time in Perth, the middle class was huge and very, very strong. We didn't have much of a lower class, for want of a better term. Mm-hmm. We had a bit of a upper class, but that was more people who actually owned the mines, your Reinhardts and Hancocks and stuff. Mm-hmm. But we had a couple of families that owned a lot of real estate, but the middle class was strong. Everyone could buy a house. And
So
I've just watched all that be eroded.
So basically, people would pay their houses off in 5 to 10 years. You have disposable income. The middle class grows. The middle class spends. And the middle class gets taxed. And everybody lives happily. And their streets get fixed. And their roads get fixed. And they build bridges. And the country progresses. But
exactly.
So the iron. Weren't they mining anything else but that? Can't they mine charcoal? Can't they mine uranium? Can't they mine? Isn't there anything else that's mineable? That's actually profitable?
Yeah, we have one of the biggest gold mines in the world, and so that's continued being mined.
Okay.
But it's not as profitable as people kind of make out. One of the big things that could potentially turn everything around in Perth that's currently in negotiations is we call it Lithium Valley. Mm-hmm. It's the whole idea of Silicon Valley trying to turn Perth into Lithium Valley. So if that happens, because we've got massive untapped stocks of lithium here, they're talking about bringing in the capacity to do all the lithium processing here. So
that would be good. If that'll create a couple of thousand jobs. That will create test facilities. They'll create all kinds of different sectors, and you'll start seeing a little bit of a surplus. There's obviously movement to move forward, right? I got someone in the comment section that's saying something. One of the problems I see in Australia is they added the GST tax system, yet kept the old system in place. What do they mean by that? I know the GST is government sales tax, but what do you mean by the old system?
I'm not exactly sure what they mean, maybe in terms of the distribution. There is some inequality in that, in the GST system as it is. Western Australia has only been getting about 30 cents on the dollar back. Basically, WA and New South Wales, I think, have been supporting the rest of the country for quite a long time, and Western Australia got sick of that and turfed out the old government, and quite likely will turf out the next one. WA's been very conservative, but I'm not sure what they mean. I remember the old sales tax was all over the place, kind of like the American system. And then in 2000, I think it was, they brought in a flat 10% tax rate on everything.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that, like, for a great example is Italy, the North and South Italy. South was supporting the North. Sorry, the North was it's actually the North was supporting the South for many years, and then they just want to cut it off, and they're really upset with that. So they have different taxations in northern and southern Italy. So it's happening all over the place. It's been a burden. It's somewhat of a burden when one part of the country needs to flip the deficit of the other part of the country, and I wouldn't stand for it myself. But in Canada, we send a majority of our money to Quebec. In the province of British Columbia, we send everything to Quebec, quite a bit to Quebec, and then I think Alberta sends quite a bit of its income to Quebec. Every other province sends everything to Quebec, so it's been an absolute nightmare for our infrastructure here, our way of living, our standard of living. Everything drops, and then jobs don't get created, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So how is the job market? I know the job market's been tanking in Perth. Is it still tanking?
Some sectors are hit.
What's it at right now? 5.6% unemployment, 4.8% unemployment right now?
Yeah, everyone that I know that wants a job has a job. Maybe not obviously paid as much as they want, but that's that's life. So I don't know. I haven't had issues getting work or picking up programming or web design jobs. And speaking to other people, like it's not boom time, but it's not depression time by any means.
Well, that's good that people aren't, because once recession starts kicking off, and then boom, depression just follows. I think I see it as a level. It starts with recession. And then if you hit into depressionary levels, that means like, I mean, furniture is out on the street because they have nowhere to go. So.
Yeah.
So
well, we didn't have a recession during the GFC. It was fascinating watching the rest of the world go through that, and then
the rest of Australia was watching. Yeah. They were watching the rest of the world sink. And to me, in my opinion, watching some of the graphs and understanding some of the pitfalls in the Australian housing market, it looks like it's been in a bull market since 1975.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I remember my parents bought their first place in 1981 for $32,000. Mm-hmm. Dad had just started a government job, tax office, funnily enough, and he was being paid $8,000. And that was for a place that was about 10 kilometres from the CBD. Their house now would be worth at least $1 million. So basically, in yours and my lifetimes, that house and all the ones around it has gone from $32,000 to $1 million. Like, that's just nuts.
Well, if you take it to inflation, so if you want to take inflation from 1981, in today's times, you said 31,000?
32, yeah.
32,000
was exactly 4 times his $8,000 a year salary.
That's correct. That's the rule of thumb. 426, depending on the income depending on your. There's a couple of factors they looked at, so you're not sitting in the gray area. But hold on. So 31. Let's say 35 large. Let's say 35 large. Okay, 35 large, sure. In inflation standards to 2018 today would be roughly $266,000 today.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so now we have a problem. Wages haven't caught up to that.
No.
So we're in trouble because technically wages would be sitting around in and around less than what your father made at the time because the buying power was higher.
Yeah. Well, the same job now would be around 60,000.
Oh, that's nowhere close.
Like the exact same.
Well, because if the average price of the house was, let's say, 35, and his income was what, 6,000? You said 6?
Yeah, 8,000.
8,000
then, and it'd be about 60,000 now. So yeah.
Yeah, so 8,000 in 1981 would be roughly 126,000 today's time.
Yeah.
Buying power.
Crazy.
Buying power.
Crazy.
But if prices adjusted to inflation by pay, the average house should be in and around 240,000. That house should be 240 realistically.
Yep. And I've done some looking around town using the apps and all that, and there's maybe 4 or 5 houses across the entire city, which our city is land size around almost as big as Los Angeles. Okay. So it's a massive land size city, even though there's only about 2,500 people here. And yeah, so across that massive area, it's there's 5 houses at that kind of price.
Wow.
And I'm talking houses, not apartments.
Yeah, you're talking about semi-detached dwellings, freehold properties.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so when you adjust to inflation, that's why I keep telling people, they're like, oh, Mike, what do you mean the average house needs to be $430,000? Well, that's what it should be because the median income... Do you remember that article I was reading here about Seattle? Portland, Oregon.
Ah, yes.
Portland, Oregon's tipping right now at $401,000. They're tipping. Because the average person making $81,400 can't afford to service that debt.
Crazy.
They can't service it. So they can't service it with $81,400 US family median income. The median income, it says here, median income family at $81,400 and current mortgage rates. A formula devised, well, obviously they're checking their total debt service ratio and all that stuff. They're starting to realize that they can't afford to service a $401,000, $600 mortgage. So they're tipping at $401,000. Unlike places like Sydney, they're finally tipping at what? $1.45 million?
Oh, Sydney's insane.
Yeah.
I've got friends who thankfully sold out late last year from Sydney. They're so happy that they sold out.
Yeah. Oh, I should have one of them on my show. You should get him to Skype me, and we could do a show talking about how they sold at the right time and what they're doing now. You know what I'm saying?
They're traveling around the country in a caravan.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So what does this tell you in your perspective? If Portland, Oregon is tipping at 417,000 and prices are starting to decline because of it, and the middle class isn't buying, and the average median income is 81,400, I think the U.S. is starting to put things in check by raising interest rates.
Yeah.
I think they are. I honestly think they're doing the right thing.
And I don't think Australia is going to be raising their interest rates. I know you've mentioned it before. I think that you think that they're possibly going to raise it. No, I don't think so. I think they're going to keep it as it is or possibly lower it.
Are you? Oh, wow, negative territory. But how would...
Well, it's not negative territory. It's currently, I think, 1.5%.
Well, if they lower it, well, it's going to bring it down. Well, yeah.
Negative real interest rate, with inflation.
Okay, can I ask you... But how are they going to hedge against the inflation? Is Australia buying up gold that we don't know? Or are they creating 800,000 jobs, that could taxable jobs? Not government sector jobs, because those don't count. Private sector jobs that we don't know about that's happening there?
I think Australia's just holding their breath and hoping for the best. One thing that has gone down in the last day or two is, and this happened today, the government basically can't decide who the Prime Minister is going to be, and so just an hour or two ago they actually shut down the government until September 10th.
Oh, there's a government shutdown. There's a government shutdown.
Yeah. Suspended. Adjournment was the term that they used, but basically they decided that they didn't want to govern for a bit, so they adjourned it, and with their one-seat majority they succeeded. So things are extremely chaotic here in Australia, and who knows what's going to happen. Okay. But I think it's basically a case of, well, we got through the last one, so maybe we can hold our breaths and just hope for the best.
Peter in the comments is saying, we might have a new Prime Minister in Australia this afternoon. A party room meeting is being held to decide the leadership this afternoon. Russia is to blame.
I think the Russia part was a joke, but yes, it's right on everything else.
Yeah, it's because everything that happens is always either Russia or if it's Donald Trump or whatever. Of course. But I you have to give kudos to the U.S. raising interest rates at the right time, because it's going to save Portland. It's going to save Oregon State. It looks like California and Washington State in between Portland are long gone, because the average house in Seattle, the average home in Seattle doubled in price within a year.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's condominiums in Seattle that were going up $30,000 a month. In value, yes. So I read the article. Seattle area home prices reduction surge, signaling market shift. And this happened because a lot of people that were taxed, the foreign buyers tax that went into Vancouver, a lot of people went south to Seattle, which is a stone's throw away, maybe an hour, a 2-hour drive. And the other people went east to Toronto, and the people that went east to Toronto are crying the blues because their properties went down 40% in the last year. So Seattle's now seeing the shift, and the mass exodus of people leaving those states, California and Washington State, is just phenomenal. That is putting hindrance on other states. Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas are feeling the pinch of Californians moving in and Seattleites. But you're saying Perth is not feeling intermigration from...
No. I mean, there's always some, but I think the actual figures show net leaving.
Interesting. Because we have a lot of people leaving. People are leaving the state of California. They're averaging it anywhere from 6,000 to 12,000 a day, and the province of British Columbia, where I'm in, there's anywhere from 300 to 900 people a day leaving the province and going over to Alberta.
Yeah.
So that's what's been happening here. But the intermite...
Well, one thing about Australia is that it's so huge and there's nothing in between. So here in Perth, if you want to overlay a map of America, if I remember my distances right, Perth is basically where Los Angeles is. I mean, the land area of Australia is the same as the land area of mainland USA, so take out Alaska. Our nearest city is, I think, Dallas, Texas. So imagine there being nothing between Los Angeles and Dallas, Texas, and nothing north either.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm looking at the map of Perth right here. It's obviously in Western Australia. And there's a map of Western Australia. Oh, there's no map. It's just showing places to go to visit. But there's a good map here. And I see New South Wales. I'm just looking at the map here. And you do have cities. What's Albany? What's in Albany?
Albany's an old whaling town.
Like big.
So Albany's about 9 hours drive away, and I think there's around 50,000 people there.
50,000 is a bit of movement. That's a bit of movement.
Pretty much all retired people.
Retired. Okay, so it's like Florida. Okay.
Yeah, it's a dead place. Like you don't go there thinking that there's going to be any work.
Okay. What about Coral Bay?
Coral Bay, nothing there. That's mining. So people live there while they're on the mine. So they'll live there for 2 weeks. Anything up that way.
Oh, 2 on, 2 off type of thing. Mine. Like 2 on, 2 off. Okay.
Exactly.
What about Kalgoorlie?
Kalgoorlie.
Yeah.
Kalgoorlie's gold town.
Okay, that's where you got your gold.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's 6 hours to the east. I drove there one night. Kalgoorlie, Geraldton, there's a little bit of action maybe in Geraldton, which is, I think, about 7 or 8 hours to the north drive. And when I say a little bit of action, I mean, like, you might get some teaching jobs there.
Okay.
A couple of friends have moved up there, but, yeah.
Interesting.
When you're talking about those, you're also talking about moving to desert. Even Geraldton, it's basically a desert right next to the ocean. So you're talking about temperatures in the high 40s Cs. So
that's like 117.
120. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, that's hot. Okay, so what about... Okay, so when you get to, I guess, places like... I guess when you get further east into Adelaide and Kangaroo Island and 12 Apostles, like that area, does it get better?
Yep. Well, yeah, Adelaide's our nearest city. I think the population is 1.5 million.
Okay.
It's a good city. From what I'm told, it's pretty much flyover country.
Okay.
Never actually been there. Been to the other cities, but yeah.
Okay, because I'm looking at there's a lot more action, obviously, on the Gold Coast, right? You got Byron Bay, you got Port Macquarie, you got the Blue Mountains, you got Sydney,
Port Macquarie.
Port Macquarie. Okay, sorry.
And that reminds me, I have to correct your Melbourne pronunciation. It's not Melbourne, it's Melbourne.
Okay, Melbourne.
No, there's no R. It's just Melbourne.
Melbourne. Why do I Melbourne? But why do I call it Melbourne?
I didn't.
But it's spelled M-E-L-B-O.
It says that there's an R in there, but it's not. That's not how we say it.
So it's Melbourne.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, Melbourne. Okay. All right.
Love it.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that English is like my third language, so I try my best, right?
I understand, Melbourne. But it's a I don't know, it just seems a particular...
Okay. Repeat after me. This is the capital of Portugal is Lisboa. Say that, Lisboa.
Lisboa.
Oh, you got it on the first time. Whoa.
I've been there.
You been to Lisboa?
I was there in 2000. Yeah, I went there for my 18th birthday.
Isn't it a great country?
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, I'm a citizen. Nice. I'm a citizen of Portugal. Yeah. Then my kids are gonna get their citizenship too, and we're gonna probably, if the poop hits the fan here in Canada, we're probably gonna sell everything and just hit. Where did you go in Portugal? The Algarve? Did you go to Lisbon?
Well, it was 18 years ago, so I'm a little fuzzy about it. But I went to Lisboa, up to Coimbra.
Oh, you went to
ended
Coimbra.
up going to Fatima.
Fatima's nice. Yeah.
Yep. And there was an old town that had a really steep thing with a cable car. It was I can't remember the name of it. Nazaré. Oh, it was Nazaré. Yeah, we went there as well. The seafood was to die for.
Oh yeah, seafood's incredible, man. You know, I know Australia is surrounded completely by ocean, but you know what? The Portuguese have the best seafood, man. Anywhere you go in Portugal.
The Portuguese got us on seafood. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm really happy that we got to talk. You comment on a lot of my videos, and I'm really happy that we got to talk, and you're live, and a lot of people commenting here, and it means a lot to me that people, you know. Oh, okay. Hey, let me ask you a question. Real quick question.
Sure.
Are people sleeping in cars there?
And none that I've seen. We do have some homeless.
Okay.
And, you know, the Aboriginal situation is a little dire in terms of, like, living on the street and all that. But, no, there's... Because it's such a huge city, people just move further and further out until the point where they're, you know, 2 or 3 hours from the CBD, but they're still within Perth.
Okay.
Just keep expanding the outside.
The municipalities always expand, always a couple of 30 to 40 kilometers a year, right? So they always do that. So, but you know why? I'll tell you why. It's because they want like specific cities to manage more highway. That's all.
Yeah, fair enough.
They want them to manage. Yeah.
I remember growing up, we had a couple of the cities like Rockingham, Mandurah, that were, you know, they were a long way away. Like, they weren't part of Perth, whereas now everything between Perth and Rockingham has been built up. And so I don't know whether they're officially part of Perth, but everyone considers them part of Perth.
Yeah. Someone's commenting here. Charlie's saying, Mike Martin's homeless is kept down because of Centrelink, government social security. What's Centrelink?
Centrelink is a government subsidy program, so it's the thing that controls, like, for example, food stamps.
So it's like UB40.
I'm not sure what that is.
UB40 is unemployment in the UK.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But it also covers, like, Centrelink also covers things like student loans. Like, it's a single entity that literally links everything.
Oh.
So any unemployment benefits, or, you know, pensioners' benefits, sick, all that sort of stuff, that and students, it's all kind of combined into one entity.
Okay. I wasn't sure. So everyone's commenting there. So yes, it's all government benefits. And then my buddy Richie Cunningham is saying it's Social Security.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, I'm very happy the Skype thing works. And if people want to call... Yeah, I'm really happy this works. And if people... I want to get some people in from Sydney. I want to get some people in from some boots on the ground there, and getting us updated on what's happening to the rest of the English-speaking world that watch this. You know, it's pretty sad what's happening in New Zealand, not too far from you guys there. Well, it's kind of far from you, but I'm saying it's closer to you than it is to...
It's closer, a very long way from me.
It's closer to you than it is to me. And you know what? I can't believe the amount of families sleeping in cars, families being put up in hotels. It's phenomenal. 40 people to a house.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how bad it is. Yeah. Anyways, I just want to thank you for calling in, and I would like, hopefully one day, you know, you to be a regular guest and giving us some analytics on analytics on what's happening in the great country of Australia. We'd like to know. And
awesome.
yeah.
Thanks for having me on, Mike.
Oh man, thanks for calling. Thank you so much.
Okay. See you then.
Bye. Well, that was a call from Australia. From Perth, to be exact. From mining booming town to in the bust. But lithium ion looks like it's going to be a next major movement there. Dale Cunningham saying, well spoken. Yeah, 1,000,000%. This guy used to be a lawyer. He's my Australian lawyer now. So if I ever get arrested in Australia, I'll just call our friend here, and he'd bail me out. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, it is getting very late. But hold on, let me read some headlines for you guys before I go, because I'm falling asleep here, and it is getting late here. It is 9:48 p.m. I've been talking for 2 hours straight. Major realtors believe major price correction underway in Metro Vancouver. It has to be. There's no way. 1 in 10 letting agents refusing to rent to families on housing benefit investigation finds. So in the UK, people are not renting out to people who are getting government support. You know what? People with government support are always there. I don't see them as a burden, because they're getting. If you're employed and you lose your job, it's worse. I don't know. That's just me. New Zealand housing ban not sufficient, analyst says. Remember, guys, in New Zealand, they're banning foreigners from coming in and buying from New Zealand. And guys, don't get all political on me or politically correct. People can't buy in Mexico. There's a lot of countries you just can't go in and buy in, okay? Because you're not of that nationality. And it's happened to me trying to buy a house in Mexico, okay? And New Zealand house debt collectors continued to pursue tenants for meth damage. So remember the meth damage from meth contaminated homes. So a lot of landlords are pursuing people for damages in meth damaged homes. Sweet mold inside New Zealand's dump housing crisis. It's pretty bad in New Zealand, guys. I really feel for the Kiwis out there. Housing New Zealand finally sleeps on a living room floor to keep warm. So a family needs to sleep on the floor to stay warm, because that's how bad the housing crisis is getting there. Luckily, it's springtime there in the next couple of weeks. There's a map of Australia. There's our map of Australia. Anyways, guys, I want to thank everybody and my man Mike from Perth for coming on the show. And it really means a lot to me that people take my channel seriously. You know what I'm saying? And if you're just joining in, and Charlie's saying, Mike, if you need a hand getting Skype on your computer working with OBS, I don't mind helping out. That's great. Thanks, Charlie. So if you guys want to... Yeah, man. And I want to thank everybody for sending me tips in my tip jar. That's fantastic, guys. Like my wife said, oh, you know what? If people want to send you money, who cares? You're working hard. You're providing them with as much service as you can. And I'm like, yeah, maybe save towards something. And then someone says, Mike, you could be my lawyer, but I'm in Victoria. Oh, any advice for millennials? You know what? I got a few millennials that I'm trying to get on the show from all over from California, and I got another millennial from Oakville, Ontario, and I got another millennial from Dublin, Ireland. I'm trying to get on the show. So now that my Skype is working, guys, my Skype is Mike Martins 1980. That's it. So once again, I want to thank Linda in Sydney for tipping me, Mark in Auckland, Zach in London, Liza in Dublin, Isadora from Toronto, and Matt from Nevada. And our man here that's been tipping me like crazy here today. Where is he? I gotta find this guy. Oh, man. One man's way. I'm gonna have you on the show, buddy. Get my Skype. It's Mike Martins 1980. I want to have you on my show. And I want you to discuss, how you have a very decent income and it's you're left hung to dry when it comes to housing and living expenses. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And Richard saying one agent in Sydney says 15% of his clients order him. Hold on. Where did that go? Oh, where did that go? Man, I lost that. Oh, 50% of his clients are ordering him to sell because they can no longer afford the interest-only mortgage. Wow, interest-only mortgage is becoming unaffordable. It's not supposed to be unaffordable. It's supposed to be cheap. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment below. Thank you for contributing to the show. Good night.